What we're going to do, we're going to take a little look at the Sunday slate, pick some games, talk about what we like. Phoebe, would you like to go first? Would you like to hand that off? Where would you like to start?
Ooh, I think let's go Dolphins-Jags.
Okay.
Just because you had a lot to say about the Jags. A Florida Derby. Here we come.
I love it. I'm all in on Brian Thomas Jr. being the answer at X receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's what I want to see. I want to see what that offense looks like going into this year. I know that there's a lot of questions with the Dolphins, both on the defensive side of the ball, but also, you know, what the running game looks like, what Tua looks like now he's had his big contract. But specifically for me, the matchup I'm looking for in Dolphins-Jaguars is what the Jags offense looks like. Now they have a true X receiver, and now they have an opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to be able to spread it out without having to rely on playing players out of position.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I mean, you look at your Christian Kirks and, you know, a healthy Travis Etienne being able to, like, alleviate some of that. And again, like you were saying, Brian Thomas Jr., I think that it opens the door for what he's able to do. I mean, we've seen Trevor Lawrence play over these years. He's got a strong arm. He's got a... I really like Doug Peterson. I like that he's had this ability to really kind of nurture and give the consistency to Trevor Lawrence that he's really deserved since his rookie year in the NFL. I think that they've got that opportunity. On the other side of the ball, I mean, you still have, you know, a very strong defense as well. Trevon Walker, you bring in Eric Armstead, you know, a lot of these really great athletes. Will any of them match the Tyreek Hill speed on the other side of the ball? And that's always going to be the question, right? Or are you able to limit that damage that he's able to do?
I'm going to pick a bit of a wild one for a game that I'm really excited to watch this weekend. And it may be a little bit of a hipster pick from me, but I can't wait to see the Chicago Bears going up against the Tennessee Titans. Specifically, and I know it's an obvious one, but Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze. The Titans have retooled on the defensive side of the ball, and there's a lot to potentially like there. I picked the Jags for the AFC South earlier. I stand by that. I think they can be the best team in that division. But I do think the Titans are maybe getting a little bit slept on by some people as a disruptor, at least this year. Brian Callahan coming in, making a big difference. And so I think this is a really intriguing matchup, and maybe not the sexiest of the 6 o'clock games, but I am going to be watching it, and I'm going to be watching that Bears offense.
Yeah, and I think going to your point about the Tennessee Titans, I mean, we saw Will Levis. He's got a huge arm. We've seen what he's able to do. And again, imagine now he's had a whole offseason being able to kind of really fine-tune some of his decision-making. You still have DeAndre Hopkins, and I know there's a bit of questionable on him playing this weekend, and we'll find out tomorrow, but he's still a top receiver. You get Calvin Ridley mixed in there, an incredible, you know, player in Tyler Boyd who will offer that kind of bigger body for him. And then again, you go to the other side of the ball, which is where I'm always going to look to, because you've got Jamal Adams, and he has been a great grab for the Titans, and he gets me really excited to watch these guys as a defense playing.
He did not fit what they did in Seattle. It was a borderline. I mean, they are saved by the fact that they actually were on the better end of one of the worst trades in football history in Russell Wilson. But the Jamal Adams 2 first-round picks to a scheme that did not fit was terrible. I am excited to see how he can fit in with Tennessee and how that will work. Phoebe, what are you excited about to watch in week 1?
Ooh.
Pick me a game. Tell me what you're looking for.
If I can choose any game, I'm going to go over to your territory a little bit. Jets 49ers.
Monday Night Football.
That is what I am looking forward to, because I think everybody wants to see what is going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. What is this Jets team going to look like? If you've got an entire healthy offseason of Aaron Rodgers, he's pulled together his dream team essentially, because he is, in his own way, the offensive coordinator. He is the assistant head coach. He is everybody. What he says, people do, and they've invested a lot of money. If this is not successful for a Robert Saleh, what does that mean at the end of this? Plus, their defense last year were killing it. They were one of the top defenses, and now you've got that backed up with an Aaron Rodgers and a healthy offense. Ooh, I'm excited for this one.
They're still missing Hassan Reddick, but I think Will McDonald has a real chance of having a breakout year this year, and specifically in this game. Who knows what Trent Williams is going to look like, whether he'll be taking all of the starter snaps, whether we'll see Jalen Moore starting in at that left tackle position. But I'm intrigued to see how Aaron Rodgers matches up to a 49ers defense who early in the season might be undermanned. Like, they might struggle a little bit early. Big changes on the defensive line. You mentioned losing Arik Armstead already, but like 2 new pass rushers. Leonard Floyd, love him. 10.5 sacks on a, let's be honest, not great Buffalo pass rush.
Yes.
Is a pretty sensational. Now he gets to be opposite Nick Bosa and alongside Javon Hargrave. That could be super exciting. But they're still without Dre Greenlaw. Talanoa Hufanga coming back, but we don't know how healthy he's going to be. We don't know what the back end of the defense is going to look like in general. We don't know how Isaac Yiadom, who really wasn't a starting corner until last year, he had a really good year for the Saints. Is he going to turn that into something that is tangible and long term? And then they've got some super exciting rookies. I love Malik Mustafa. That man loves to hit. He loves to get into the box. He loves to hit guys. He bases his game off Ronnie Lott. He's now in San Francisco. I worry a little bit that early doors with a 4th defensive coordinator in 4 seasons, a little bit like we've seen with the Ravens tonight, I think it might be a tough start for the 49ers. It's a little bit of me that's tempted by a Jets upset.
I mean, I think that you should probably start thinking about that a little bit more, because you have Aaron Rodgers who can come onto a field, look at what you've lined up in as a defense, and just pick you apart. He's able to stand there, make his audibles, make his calls, diagnose what's happening in front of him. There is no defense that this man has not seen. And that plays a huge role into helping his team, building that confidence, moving the ball down the field.
I'm excited about Sunday Night Football. That's what I'm excited for in week 1. And I'm excited for... It's a game that when it happened last year, we made such a huge fuss about. It was the Jared Goff, Matt Stafford. They'd crossed over. Both had had success. One had won a Super Bowl. The other had finally established himself as a viable starter. We've talked a lot on the show tonight about vibe head coaches. Dan Campbell, the ultimate vibes man. We love what they're doing in Detroit. They're a hot pick for the Super Bowl this year. But the Rams coming back, young defense. What do they look like without Aaron Donald? Can they continue to build on what they did last year? I think this is an insanely good Sunday Night Football to kick us off for this week, and there's some matchups in there I love.
Yes, I mean, look, the NFL knew exactly what they were doing when they put these games on, whether we're talking about tonight's or the ones on Sunday night. I love the Lions. I love the way they play. I love what they've done in the offseason. Bringing in Terrion Arnold is probably one of the best moves that they could have made. They've been needing to stack that secondary, and I think he is an athlete who is able to add that kind of man defense vibes and value and really give them that chance that they need and deserve. Plus, looking at the offensive side of the ball, again, what we saw last year was Jared Goff having the ability to stand in the pocket for what felt like an eternity and be able to deliver that football. Amon-Ra St. Brown, better than ever. One of the top receivers out there.
And healthy now.
And healthy, exactly. Jahmyr Gibbs, who literally just blew the league away last year. I mean, these guys honestly are going to just... I think they're going to come out with a vengeance. They came out with a vengeance last year. But to have that game and have it again as the Rams, you're still going to have those pent up feelings, the same ones. They're going to want to just battle so tough. And that is exactly what I want to see.
I the one thing I will say, and this is looking at the NFC contenders again, I kind of starting to pick back over it. I'm considering whether I shouldn't be overlooking the Lions for the Super Bowl, because other than maybe the Eagles and their 2 pickups in the secondary, Cooper DeJean I think is going to be sensational in that scheme, and to pick up 2 corners high in the draft, unbelievable work from them. But are they the only other NFC contender who really strengthened this offseason? Like, you look at the rest of them, you look at the Cowboys, the 49ers, these teams that have gone deep consistently in the playoffs, who would consider themselves to be potential NFC favourites. The Packers maybe, but I would say they've pretty much stayed pat. I wouldn't say they've necessarily improved hugely. I kind of... The Lions are the one team who have gone, right, we had a weakness, we're going to fix it. Ooh.
Yeah.
Exciting.
But we wanted them to do that last year as well, and they went with some unique choices, which paid off for sure. There's things that they know that we obviously do not know as well. But I do think that Green Bay are a team who have, if you're looking at the trajectory of them, looking at the trajectory of Jordan Love, it is up. It is positive. He is a coachable athlete. And if that's what you're looking to build on because you sat him behind Aaron Rodgers for all those years, he just needs the game experience, but he's getting better every time. Look at how they played in the playoffs. I mean, they were phenomenal, and they were a complete surprise. So if they can pick up where they left off, they could take it all away.
If we're talking about things we're excited about in week 1, I want to see the Arizona Cardinals. I want to see, I think they're going to be super fun this year. Marvin Harrison is a great pickup for them, fits what they do in that scheme, and they're going up against a Buffalo Bills team that have some question marks, Phoebe. I know I'm not allowed to say that, but that's just another one that just catches my attention, and maybe we'll talk about that a little bit as the show goes on.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard to ignore that the Bills, again, losing Matt Milano for a third time is going to be a huge, huge loss to that entire defensive program. He is the ringleader on that side. And I agree. I think Kyler Murray's been looking for that go-to receiver, and Harrison Jr. can be that guy for him. And I think they'll make it fun. I don't know what that success looks like for them, but I know it'll be fun to watch.